Welcome everybody to episode 63. Today I'm joined with JamesMK and Summoning. How are you guys doing?
What's up, man? Doing well.
We got some pretty interesting topics to talk about tonight. I guess we'll start with the first one. There was a topic started by on Twitter by someone called the Wall Skimmer, Moonsault Slayer, and he tweeted a picture showing the Mount Rushmore of fighting game characters, and in it you had Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Ryu, and Chun-Li. And this caused a ton of attraction. Like a lot of people started tweeting at it, they started commenting on it, started going around. It exploded. It got over 1,000 retweets, almost 6K favorites, and it's been a huge topic that's been going circling around in the FGC. And there's been a lot of people going like, this is actually pretty good. And then on the other side, there's been a lot of people that are like, no, you're wrong. This shouldn't be in the Mount Rushmore. What about these other games? They're posting other Mount Rushmore saying this is more accurate. This is how it should be. And then when people saw that, they started engaging in that and going like, you got to be joking to not include a Mortal Kombat, to include, and they would say things like, who is the character even including? Like the Soul Bad Guy from Guilty Gear. Some people would see that and be like, who is that? You cannot have Scorpion in a Mount Rushmore like that. What is your take on this? We'll start with Summoning first.
All right, I'm gonna rewind this all the way back to arcade days. This is a topic that goes back literally 25 plus years. MK has never been, even though I will let Jimmy get into the sales and the numbers and all that stuff. Okay, I'm talking about strict skill, and it's a very controversial topic. Okay, when we were younger, Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat would be in two separate parts of the arcade. They would never be together in any arcade we'd go to. A few of them were small, and they would have, the cabinets next to each other. Neither here nor there. The Street Fighter guys would never play MK and vice versa. And our guys were the MK guys, and I would always get shit for talking to everybody in the arcade, all the Street Fighter people, all the virtual fighter people, whatever, because I just like people, and the consensus was that MK has no skill. It's a low skilled, tiny game that has huge following, but they don't want to play it because it's not the skill of Street Fighter or whatever. And this has been the argument since day one. Nobody who plays those games, they don't go near MK. Look at it today even. Sonic Fox tried to venture over to Street Fighter. What happened there? You know what I mean? So that's why these guys, they don't give MK respect. MK doesn't get any respect because it's just a trash game with a easy gameplay, and it's a simple game and they don't play it. So and I'm being an MK guy, I have to agree with that. I mean, it's going to be a hard take for MK guys to hear, but I've been there since day one, and Street Fighter's way harder. And it's always been dissed by the top people. MK is like the freaking clean it up boy. It always has been. But they got the numbers, which Jimmy will tell you. So it's a really weird topic.
I mean, the problem with it is we're talking about Mount Rushmore. And when we're talking about Mount Rushmore, what is the definitions to put something on Mount Rushmore? Is it popularity, character relations, gameplay, overall sales? There's so many different variables that have to be accounted for in order for something to even make it on Mount Rushmore. Since the inception of fighting games, since Street Fighter 2, the pecking order has been Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, then all the Neo Geo games. As far as the skill level / skill gap, it's apples and oranges. The games are designed intentionally different. When they decided to do Injustice, which was basically a sort of clone of Mortal Kombat to a degree, They removed the block button. The block button was the biggest thing people used to complain about back in the day. I never understood why they complained about it. Holding back to block versus a block button. You know, to me, it was such a stupid thing to argue about.
It was a huge topic, though. I remember that one too. Huge.
You know, why does it have a block button? I don't know. Why do you got punch buttons? You know, the button's instilled for a certain purpose to block fucking attacks. You know, the fact that, you know, you could do a cross up, you know, and your big gotcha moment in Street Fighter is catching a guy holding back the block on a cross up and him not switching it over and getting opened up that way. That, you know, that and then canceling out projectiles. That was the two biggest things that Street Fighter players complained about when it came to Mortal Kombat back in the day. And personally, I don't think they should cancel each other out. They should, you know, they should be forced to react to what and interact with one another. You know, and if I throw a fireball at you and you throw an ice ball at me, it shouldn't turn to water and just cancel out. One hits, the other hits. You got to react to them. Now, as far as combos go, I believe Mortal Kombat back in the day had a higher skill gap to do good combos. You know, not spear uppercut, you know, but like, you know, punch, punch, teleport, spear uppercut. Versus Street Fighter, you know, you land a heavy roundhouse into a standing fierce, into a dragon punch, it's automatic. You're going to get it as long as you hit the first one. I never liked that. I've always liked combos based off of free falling versus you standing still getting punished for not blocking one. It's just, to me, it never played well to me. Now I'm
Oh,
not,
the
you know,
Street Fighter combos are way harder, dude. I still can't do them. I've
that's
been
on
playing
you.
30 years.
That's a you
I
thing.
could, bro,
That's a you thing. I've
seriously.
never had problems.
I could do a 3-hit combo. I'm not talking about those. And by the way, you have to do all those 3 hits. You have to do
Yeah.
them all. You have to hold down. You have to do an uppercut motion. This shit ain't easy.
Eh.
MK is easy.
It really depends on the Street Fighter game you're talking about, because some of them, like I know Third Strike has the just frame links, Street Fighter 4 has a lot of just frame links, so it depends on which one you're talking about. But if you're comparing, like, I guess the first Street Fighter with the first Mortal Kombat, the new Mortal Kombat has bigger juggles. But I think
you talking about Street Fighter 1?
Yeah, like if you compare the early ones. But I think
that shit was, yeah, that was.
Yeah, but I think starting Street Fighter 2, they started adding some sequences and links you could do, which were more difficult.
Very hard.
But yeah, but Street Fighter was never really a game where you're doing like, with like MK, you're doing like 20, 30 hit combos that last like 20 seconds. I don't think they started doing that until later on. Like I want to say like until what? Street Fighter 3 Alpha and then Third Strike when they started doing that?
Yeah. Yeah, 3 in Alpha is when they started to make bigger juggle combos.
There's hard-ass combos to do in those games, man. There's in MK, you know you could play every character and do combos with them. You cannot do that in Street Fighter. No way. There's no chance that you can. I'll give you a character right now in Street Fighter 3. You can't do combos. That's what Street Fighter's always been more skilled. Always. Always has.
How?
The combos, the weighting system, it's a really skilled finesse game. It is. We used to go to Chinatown Fair, man. We used to watch these guys play. They sit there and they don't even jump. They don't even move. It's really skilled. Street Fighter is really skilled. It always has been. MK is really easy. You can't. I'm not saying you're going to be great at the game. You're going to lose too to great players in MK. Of course you are. But I'll give you any character in those games. You could do combos with them. You can't do them in Street Fighter. We can go through the cast. I'll give you log in.
I would say probably Third Strike's harder to play than UMK3, but UMK3 does have some really difficult stuff. It really depends on which characters you're talking about. But I would say like the hardest character to play in UMK3 at the highest level, probably either Cabal or Ermac or Reptile. But then when you look at the Third Strike characters that are hard to play, like Yun, I think Yun is a lot harder to link stuff with and know what you're doing exactly. So I'd have to give the edge to I'd have to give the edge to Third Strike over UMK3. And UMK3 is one of the hardest Mortal Kombat games to play, like along with Trilogy and stuff.
But you could do back forward, and then you could even do punch down high punch and get a and just like jump kick. Okay, that's anyone can do that. Anybody back forward low kick, then run up to the character, punch, uppercut, and anyone can do that. You cannot do that in Street Fighter. I'm sorry, you can't. You cannot just combo every time. And that Street Fighter is way harder. Way harder.
Yeah, honestly, the hardest thing in UMK3 is doing the relaunches with Human Smoke and Ermac. Those are just frames. Those are really hard to do.
That's timing and stuff. I mean, that's doable though. That's it's one button. You know what I mean? It's timing. But like Street Fighter requires like tons of different when you come in with different moves, different depends on how far the jump is. It depends on what's gonna link.
That's the same thing with Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat is kind of like dial.
Not really. Not really. Listen, you need to know like a jump kick versus a deep jump kick. You know, there's that variables in there. But what my point about it is it's not about whose combos are harder versus not. Reality is this. If Mortal Kombat people can't play Street Fighter, that's on them. I could play every fucking game. You know, and
but are you as good at it? And I know you for a long time. So are you as good at Street Fighter as you are as an MK?
No, because I put more time into MK.
Okay, so if I tell you to put let's play Third Strike every day for the next couple years, you may not do it, whatever, but you think you're going to be as good?
I could say that right now for Tekken 8. Just because I don't go around touting my horn, you know, I'm good in Tekken 8. I make people rage quit on me. You know, but again, it's the amount of time that you put in on it. You know, I've played with, you know, a lot of the top. I mean, shit, I was playing alphas with F Champ, and he was amazed I even knew what the fuck I was doing. He was like, "Holy shit, you could play Dalsim?" I said, "Oh yeah, you all thought I was just a Mortal Kombat guy. No, you know." Now today's people have a tendency to stay with one game. And they don't venture off.
Today's people don't venture off because, well, they have a lot of hate for MK2. You should not be able to like MK, dude. You remember this shit. You remember the shit in the arcades.
I know people didn't like it. I know people didn't like it.
Never come over and just hang out with us. That would never happen.
Yeah, well,
started back then.
Regarding what James said earlier about the Mount Rushmore, like what exactly is it based on? Like the whole variables? What the criteria that this guy was ranking it for, he said this is the Mount Rushmore of fighting game characters. So who are the most popular? When you think fighting games, characters come to your mind. And in it, he had Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Ryu, and Chun-Li. I think that's pretty accurate. Like
I would go Ryu and Ken.
Ryu and Ken, definitely.
And then Chun-Li would be the number 3 for them.
Yeah, I probably agree with that because Ryu and Ken is you kind of need the other. Because Ken is like the counterpart to Ryu, right?
Yes.
Kind of like how Sub-Zero is a counterpart to Scorpion.
Yes. Now, if we would see now the Heihachi and I don't know, maybe
Kazuya is really popular.
And I guess Kazuya, you know, again, I guess they're going to be the opposites as well. Obviously for Guilty Gear, Sal the bad guy, but he wouldn't even make it on the list, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he's the most popular character from Guilty Gear, but I don't think more people know him compared to Mortal Kombat. Scorpion and Sub-Zero and
that's true. I know nothing about the other games, so I agree with you guys there.
You know, when you get into a Mount Rushmore, you also got to gauge it on the people that are looking in. Like, if you're going to say where the average Joe knows and heard of these people, you know, that's versus just FGC people knowing. Like FGC people know who Jackie is in Virtua Fighter.
Yeah.
But a
That's
regular
the chick with
random
blonde
dude
hair,
on the
right?
street. No, Jackie's the brother.
Oh, okay. Who
Sarah,
was I thinking?
Sarah's
Oh, I was thinking of Sarah.
Sarah. But it's like FGC people might know that, but the average Joe on the street never heard of. Average Joe on the street don't know Ichiru from fucking Samurai Showdown.
Damn, I don't even know that
Yeah.
character, man. I'm not gonna lie. I have not touched somebody's fighting games, so some of the names are new to me.
But
We
it's
should
like,
bring that up too. You don't, for example, Rio. Sorry to interrupt you. You don't play Street Fighter, do you?
I know.
Or any of these other games?
Honestly, the only Street Fighter game I like is Third Strike, and I don't even play it. I really only play Mortal Kombat games.
Okay, so
I know some characters from some fighting games. Like I know some of the characters from KI. I know some of the characters from Street Fighter. Obviously, I know some of the characters from Tekken.
This is kind of why now, like, because you don't venture off because maybe none of your friends play the game. I don't know why. Maybe you just, I don't know what it is. The MK, we stay to our own like sides. I was always the person who went to all sorts of games to find the game, but I've never been as good as anybody in these games. I'm just a casual player who's been around forever. I suck at everything though. But I do admit that I play other games, and I do admit that Street Fighter is way more skilled than MK. No one, like none of the MK guys really like to hear that. So so my question is, besides the fact that you haven't played them and stuff, why didn't you play those games? For what? What was the reason?
Probably because I was playing Mortal Kombat, and the time I wanted to play, it would focus on Mortal Kombat over other games. There was a time I wanted to get into Tekken 7 also. I played Tekken 7 briefly when they released Negan. I played him for a while. Then I ended up going back to Mortal Kombat. Really, I would say because I like Mortal Kombat the most as a fighting game. I think it has the coolest characters, in my opinion, out of any fighting game. I do wish they would step up their game in terms of, gameplay, making the games harder to play. But it's not to say that all the Mortal Kombat are very easy to play. There's hard things you can find in a lot of Mortal Kombat games that I'm sure other people from other fighting games would have to sit down and practice to get them down. Like if you have one of them
not very easy to play, but easier to play. Big difference. Easier to just get a.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it depends on the character, really.
Well. Okay, the B&B, there's B&Bs for every single character in Street Fighter. I guarantee you guys can't do them. Like you could practice all you want. You got to do it situational. In MK, you could just do them. You can just do them. It's so much harder in Street Fighter.
Now my thing is, and again, referring to what you're saying, and I'm going to be the Dave in the room this time. What the fuck does that have to do with being on the Mount Rushmore?
I'll tell you why.
Because a game being harder doesn't garner it the respect of being on a Mount Rushmore. You want a hard game, get through 3 levels on Pit Fighter. Harder than all of them.
Or King of Fighters too. Really freaking tough.
Or King of Fighters, there's tons of games that are harder. Every SNK game is harder in the past to Street Fighter. Every one.
Rushmore thing, yeah, absolutely. It's got to be mentioned. But MK, it got a lot of hate. MK gets a lot of hate. That's the thing. It doesn't gain the respect of these like top guys who are making the money going to these events. These big only Sonic Fox. He's the only MK guy that who's like up there. You know what I mean? And he doesn't even play Street Fighter.
Yeah, Sonic's very skilled because Sonic has won like massive majors and evos in other Mortal Kombat games. Like he's done it in Skullgirls, Dragon Ball Z. So he's kind of the exception where he's, Sonic has proven himself in other games. But I'm sure there's been other Mortal Kombat players that have done that too. Like other Mortal Kombat players that have won evos and giant majors in other games that start out with Mortal Kombat.
I don't think so.
Honestly. Well, look at it this way. Justin, Punk, all these other guys tried to come over to Injustice and Mortal Kombat and Injustice. They didn't do well. So what's their
They did
excuse?
well. They did well in the beginning.
They never won nothing. They never won. They never won nothing.
Justin
They
Wong
were
did
playing
win.
MK9
Justin Wong
in
did
the
win the
beginning.
PDP for MK9.
PDP. That's like
Yeah,
the week
but
after it came out.
Yeah, then they stopped playing.
After a few months of MK9 being out, or a year, it became really hard to compete in that game or any NRS game because you have to go up against the people that know the gimmicks, know matchups. They play the game a lot, and that's when you see the players that cross over in NRS games.
Yeah.
They tend to stop playing the game, or they don't do as good anymore because now they can't keep up anymore because the Mortal Kombat players have leveled up so much in their game. But in the beginning, yeah, they did win a few tournaments. I guess if you mean to say, like, you don't see our players going to other games and winning tournaments in the beginning, like you see other people sometimes doing that for Mortal Kombat games. But now that's actually a lot. You don't even see that anymore with the newer NRS games.
No.
In the beginning
Nobody
of MK1, it was really
crosses
just
over.
Yeah, and I want to say this. So regarding the whole Mount Rushmore thing, do you think it's fair to have two Mortal Kombat characters and two Street Fighter characters, or should it be one character from the four most popular fighting games?
I would say one
two
of
and two.
each. I would say one of each, because this way it'll give you an avenue to put a couple of unsung heroes. So obviously the number 1 and 2 would be Ryu and Scorpion.
Now, who do you think is more popular between Scorpion and Ryu? This is probably a hard one.
I would have to go with Scorpion. The reason I would go with Scorpion is because Midway Acclaim and anybody else that's had marketing power had pushed it more as a name than I think Ryu.
In the US, definitely.
But
what about you, Summoning?
The two biggest games is more MK and Street Fighter. So I was saying
regarding
the two characters
Scorpion and Ryu, who do you think should be?
I would say it's probably Scorpion as well, because I know I'm friends with Jim for a long time. I've learned a lot about the advertising and all that stuff and what they did to push the game. So MK and Scorpion in the US for sure.
Sure. I would say I have to agree. I would say Scorpion are probably the most well known in USA and probably South America, maybe Canada and areas like that. But I think in Asia, like in Japan and stuff, Ryu is known way more than Scorpion. So worldwide, I think, worldwide, who is the most popular fighting game ever? Worldwide, the edge may go to Ryu over Scorpion.
Might be.
Everybody knows him. Even in here in the USA soil, where MK is the most popular, Ryu is probably more popular than Scorpion in terms of at least FGC. So even in Mortal Kombat's home turf, Ryu's up there, and then everywhere else around the world.
Yeah, that's a big fact.
I could agree with that.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It's like MK is us, North America, whatever. The Tekken is Europe, and Street Fighter's all that side. So so that's like three different zones. Let's say. I would give the edge to Ryu worldwide, but definitely overwhelming Scorpion in the US.
Yeah, I wonder in Africa if Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat's more popular. And I think in Australia, Mortal Kombat was banned for a while. So that probably hampered Scorpion being above Ryu there. Yeah, I would have to say, I guess the most popular fighting character overall, which would be the most, would probably Ryu. And then after that, it's definitely Scorpion.
And then after that, I would go with Heihachi.
That's a good one. You think he's the most popular character from Tekken?
He's the staple. He's the fucking old man that never actually dies.
Yeah, he's...
you've killed the kids, but bring them back. Kill the grandkid, bring them back. Now you got daughters and stepdaughters and all this other, but he's been the one constant.
Yeah, and he's been there since the first Tekken. Damn, but it's kind of hard, though, because I feel like for Kazuya, he may be more popular than Heihachi, even though Heihachi's been around longer. I feel like Kazuya has such a massive fan base of people that know him. He's kind of become like...
But again, it's again, when we're talking about the characters, I mean, I think, is it impactful for the franchise, or is it just playing outright popularity? I mean, if it's impactful, I mean, the fucking dude throws his own son into a volcano. It can't get any more fucked up than that. So it's like, on this Mount Rushmore, we already established. Let's just establish Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken. Those are the three most popular game / lead characters. Because like I said, Ryu is the lead. Scorpion kind of is the lead, even though Liu Kang's kind of supposed to be. And then the whole Hachi family drama, I would go with Hachi only because he's the one that it centers around.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I guess you'd have to ask Tekken players how they feel. Like, who is like the face of Tekken? It's probably going to come down between Hayachi or Kazuya. But I have a wrench I'm going to throw into all of this. And I know you guys are not going to be happy with this, and people probably listening are going to roll their eyes. But I don't want to do this, but I feel like we have to. What about Smash Brothers? I mean, in a way, that is a big ass fighting game. There's no way there's no Smash Brother character. I know as much people hate it because they don't look at it as a fighting game, but technically, with how many people grew up playing Smash and how massive it is around the world, you kind of have to. I feel like you have to include one of the characters in here, even though the characters in Smash aren't even fighting game characters. But even though Smash is so big, as a matter of fact, that in the newest Smash game, they have Ryu. They have Ken, they have Kazuya, they have like characters from other fighting games to how big it is. So a Smash character has to be in this. There's no way Smash is not top 3 or top 4.
I don't know who the fuck I would put in.
Is it even a fighting game though?
But see, that's the drama. I consider it a fighting game because the whole point of the game is you need to beat the shit out of your opponent
beat up the other person
and kill them. Yeah, but the way it's designed is you're still playing against like another person. It's not like a beat 'em up like you and a friends versus AI. You're trying to beat the level.
It's not like a Double Dragon beat up.
Yeah, or what's it called? World Warriors. It's more like you're playing against other people. Like that's the whole point of the game. You have to beat your friends up.
Who would I put on that?
I want to say Mario, but when I think of Mario, I don't think fighting game characters. But I feel like he'd be the most popular.
No, I don't think I would go. I mean, Mario, because Mario's Mario, but
yeah, Mario's like his own big thing. For him to be on here, it'd be so ugly. Even though he's the face of Smash in a way. At Pikachu, but then Pikachu has his own thing with Pokemon. That's a whole other thing. You can't really take the most popular Smash characters because they already have their own massive franchise. That's why it's like a whole wrench into this discussion. That it's like it is a fighting game, but then it's big for reasons. They're big because they're not actually fighting game characters. They're their own franchise. So it's very tricky.
I mean, I can't go with
Bowser.
Bowser's from Mario. Yeah, but he's part of the Mario franchise.
Okay, he's
but theoretically, realistically, every character is from something else,
except for the fighting game characters like Ryu and Ken and Kazuya that they have now in Smash Bros.
Yeah, but my point is, every Nintendo character is from a Nintendo game.
Yeah, that's why it's weird. It's almost like, let's say they made a big fighting game one day, right? And this big fighting game has characters from Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter. It's like all stars like that. Would you be able to put that in a fighting game around Rushmore, even though that's one of the most popular fighting games that so many people bought and played? Maybe we just exclude Smash, even though it seems wrong to exclude it. It just feels like it doesn't.
I would have to exclude it. I hate to say that because, again, it is a fighting game. If I was to put, I mean, I guess just for the sake of putting somebody on the face of the game to get it onto Mount Rushmore, you would have to go with Mario.
Yeah, because he's like the face of it. Because Smash 64, when they first released it, he was on the box art. Him and Pikachu.
You can't. I mean, you could do Jigglypuff maybe.
That would make people mad.
That would make people mad. Exactly.
People hate that character in the game, and I don't think she's more popular than Pikachu.
Yeah, I don't know. Fucking the dog from Duck Hunt.
I forget he's in there too. Well, okay, if we can't include Smash, let's just exclude it. And what would be the fourth most popular fighting game around the world character to include on here?
That's a tough one.
Let me see. So
Fourth most
You have
popular.
Guilty Gear, Killer Instinct, Virtua Fighter,
I'd
Samurai
have to go with.
Showdown,
I think
King
I'd
of
have to go
Fighters.
with. I think I'd have to go with KI. Maybe as the fourth.
What about
What about
Marvel vs.
Virtual Fighter?
Capcom?
Marvel
Yes,
vs.
man.
I don't know. I don't know if it
Was
would
that
get
game?
that.
There,
Wait,
back.
was that game big worldwide, Marvel vs. Capcom, or was it just a
No, it's just the
USA
States.
thing? Okay.
It's a USA thing.
Or wasn't it big in Japan too?
Not really. I mean, it had
Oh.
some people, but not as big as here.
Oh, it's huge here. That was crazy.
Yeah, I would go Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, and the SNK franchise. So I'd have to go with Fatal Fury and go with. I mean, we could go with Geese because he's another bad guy.
Is he like the biggest? I guess most popular character.
No, because you would get what's his name, Terry
Yeah.
Bogard.
Oh, speaking of Terry, he's also in the new Smash too.
Yep.
I forgot about that. He's also in Smash.
So Terry would be,
he has to be the face then of the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
and it would be Terry, his brother, and Joe Higashi were like the three originals. But Geese would have to get the mention as well because he was like the ultimate bad guy. But I would go with Terry for number 4 spot.
Yeah, and another funny thing, and again, I don't know if bringing this game up is bad or not, but similar in the Smash thing, how I brought up Smash, which is a wrench, Dragon Ball has a huge audience behind it with fighting games. All the Dragon Ball games sell like hotcakes. So again, do you consider Dragon Ball to be included in this? It's not a fighting game, but it sells like the most, or like top 3 the most in fighting games. So do you
It is kind of a fighting game, though, no?
Yeah, but the problem is, like, when I think of Dragon Ball Z, I think of like the show, the anime, not the fighting game. So I guess yeah, it's like, but in a way, it's like Smash in that it's one of the most sold and played fighting games. So do you include Goku on this, or is that like a Smash where it's like, well, it's more so Goku because of his brand and everything, like Mario is with his brand. You can't really include them in this.
I think that and Smash kind of fall under the same. Like they would have to have their own separate Mount Rushmore, I guess. Because if we're talking about original games and franchises and the characters that are standout characters, those are characters and franchises that were based off of previous characters already.
Yeah, so I guess it would be the way to say franchises that started off as fighting games that became big because they were a fighting game, not how it became like Dragon Ball or Smash Brothers, how they became big fighting games, not because they were a fighting game, but because they had, popular characters that people love.
So yeah, so for the number 4 spot, I'd have to give it to. Do I want to give it to KI?
It's tough. I think between KI, King of Fighters.
No, I'm going to give it to KI instead of the King of Fighters. King of Fighters will be after it. Killer Instinct would have the number 4 spot.
Now, do you think worldwide would KI be more known or King of Fighters?
King of Fighters.
Yeah, not KI.
That's why I'm saying the Mount Rushmore gets kind of skewed when you start splitting hairs about what's popular worldwide versus sales, overall, and what's popular in what country. Because KOF and all of their SNK franchise outside of the States, especially in South America and Central America, is through the roof. That might
I think King of Fighters didn't even sell that great in USA. I think games like Virtua Fighter sold more, actually.
and VF sold, but VF sold primarily because of the esports push with it. If not, it's kind of been a dead franchise since five, and five didn't do that well.
Well,
Contrary
I'm
to
speaking
police.
more from like a console mindset because I remember a lot of my friends had Virtua Fighter on consoles, just like they had Tekken or MK and games like that.
So I put VF at like number 5, 6 spot is what I was alluding to. So you had Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. What was the third one? Tekken.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'd have to go with the KOF franchise if we're talking worldwide popularity. And then after
Yeah,
that,
these
I
are all
would put,
difficult because of the regions,
yeah.
So the first three are confirmed everywhere. The next ones, they have to be kind of region based.
It's difficult because honestly, if you were to ask me, "Hey, Rio, what's the most popular fighting game in Australia?" I have literally no idea. I don't
That's
know
the
what's the
thing. So
most popular in Russia or Africa or Middle East or anywhere. Like, I don't know. It could be, for all we know, it could be like an obscure fighting game.
I think in Russia is Tekken. I think.
Isn't Street Fighter pretty
Europe is
big in Russia
Tekken.
though?
Street Fighter's big
Yeah.
everywhere. Street Fighter's
Yeah,
big
Street
everywhere.
Fighter's big everywhere. Yeah. Yeah. For example, like I'm in Stockholm. There's only one FGC thing. And it's at a place called Dragon's Lair, and it's there's no MK at all. They don't even mention it. It's always Street Fighter, Guilty Gear. There's like some other small games, but there's no MK. I brought up because Alex Smith told me, he's like, you should go to the local in Stockholm. I'm like, dude, I don't know anything. How do you know about all this stuff? He's like, well, I compete everywhere. And I was like, all right. So I got into their Discord and I was like, you guys play MK? They're like, no. There was not even a there was like a one word discussion. Like, no.
Ask them
Okay.
if they play Mortal Kombat Deception. I guarantee you some of them will say they do. No, I'm joking. They're not. But dude, you mentioned Guilty Gear. I forgot about that. That's another game that's been getting very popular lately. Guilty Gear has been kind of exploded
It's
with the
way
Guilty
more
Gear
popular than
Strive.
MK is.
You think so? It's more popular than Mortal Kombat right now?
Yeah, because I was bringing this up before. The reason why people are also beating on MK, like you're saying they should, you know how that your tweet, people the MK hate. We don't have a game right now. Oh, this is the best time for people to come out and just bash MK. We don't have a game. There's no game. There's nothing anyone's playing.
Yeah, I mean
They gave up on.
The thing with MK1 is that it's so polarizing because I've been streaming it lately, and sometimes people come my stream to tell me how much they hate the game and think it's bad, and they wish I was streaming any other game but MK1. So
Especially
there's
when we
a
don't have a game.
yeah,
That's why
so
they do it.
there's a
That's
lot
why.
of strong hate behind the game. I don't think the game is as bad as people think, but I can definitely see why they hate it. It does have annoying aspects to it. But I
It's easy
guess
to troll.
yeah, but what I'm saying is, I guess this is the reason why there was a lot of drama with this Mount Rushmore post because a lot of people looked at it and they're like, "Why is MK on there? Like, you guys don't even like your own game, MK1. Why is there a spot there?" And I feel like that's causing a lot of the issues where people are
Well,
like,
that's going to cause issues because the simple fact is, if you're putting a Mount Rushmore, you're supposed to be considering from inception of MK192 up to present day.
I agree, but a lot of the FGC has a lot of new faces and new players that join every year. So I feel like a lot of the new crowd is like they look at MK just for MK1 because they don't. I guess they didn't follow MK before that, or maybe they were too young to understand. So when they look at MK game, they just look at it from the FGC bubble as a fighting game that's considered a joke, broken. They usually need
Yeah,
a million
joke.
patches to get things
Exactly what I
right,
was gonna say.
and the
Yep.
FGC doesn't respect it. So when they look at a post like this, they're like, why is your fighting game on there when in the FGC people don't really like your game like that? Like, your game's not even at EVO, they continually throw shots. So you have to look at it. I guess you have to factor in the FGC bubble. Like, is how big is Mortal Kombat in the fighting game community aspect around the world?
All right, look at this. I just logged into that Discord of the Sweden one. The here's the games: Guilty Gear, Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, and 2K XO. MK not even mentioned. I went back months of all their And I'm not saying this is what's Europe. We're tiny, but I'm just saying like MK is even mentioned anywhere in here. And these are fighting game players. These are top guys out here who are playing in this because I found out about this through Alex, like I said. So it's not some like random local. It's like probably the best in Stockholm. They go here, and there's no MK. So MK's always been it's always kind of been like the stepchild, but it has the advertising. That Jimmy can tell you about how much they do and push the game sales and stuff. We were talking about that before. MK definitely has the sales way, the shock value.
I
But
think I think MK is big enough to definitely be on this list. I can see why a lot of people in these tweets are angry about it because they don't respect it through the FGC view of things. But if you look outside the FGC, I think you have to include Mortal Kombat to be one of the most
Yeah, you
popular.
gotta. If you're gonna look at a list like this, you have to look at it without fucking fogged up glasses. Because if you're looking at it in hindsight, just based off of FGC, 90% of these games are gonna be laughed at. Especially when you're looking at it throughout different generations of it. We're gonna brag about the fucking Street Fighter, fucking the X shit, or the Tekken Cross Street Fighter, shit like that. You gotta kind of set a set of rules and boundaries for it, which is contrary to belief in the FGC universe, game sales matter. Without game sales, there's never a sequel. Nobody's gonna make a game so horrible and then come out with a sequel to it.
well, okay, MK has to be on the Mount Rushmore, of course. But the fact that we don't have a game right now is why you're getting the MK haters saying all this stuff too. But yeah, of course, MK has to be on Mount Rushmore. It's one of the staple
Even if
games.
there, even if there was a game that you still have haters. I mean, it don't matter whether there's a
No,
game or not.
Street Fighter doesn't have much hate, dude. It doesn't.
Street Fighter
I
still
don't
has
I
a
don't
game.
play it.
Street Fighter still has a game though.
They'll always have something.
You
That
know,
they're just perfect at everything they do, and you know
but
that.
the hate for Street Fighter, I mean, the hate for Mortal Kombat has nothing to do with there being a game out. If there was
No,
a
when
game
it
out, it
comes
was
more, it comes more when we don't have something or when we're in a low
Well,
point.
the thing regarding Street Fighter, I mean, it definitely gets roasted. I even have people tell me that they don't like the gameplay, some stuff Street Fighter 6. However, globally around the world, I think most people would probably, I guess, accept Street Fighter 6 for what it is to want to play competitively, to invest time into it. Whereas usually when it comes to Mortal Kombat games, people tend to check out. There's not like giant, massive prize pots, That's kind of like their, I guess, fuel or drive to continue playing Mortal Kombat games. Because if you don't have big money on the line, I guess a lot of people just don't like tolerating the games for what they are. It's for some reason it's very hard to get people to sit down and play Mortal Kombat for fun, not for a paycheck, not to get a salary from your sponsor, but just to sit down and play the game for fun on your free time. There's a lot of people that have a problem with that. They don't find the games enjoyable to play for fun.
yeah,
The
I can
people
see
we know
that.
are highly competitive, so they want to play Street Fighter. So it's like they can actually, if they're good, they can actually someone will know them. MK, um, there's how many people are amazing at it who are known. They'd rather play Street Fighter. There's more of a pat on the back with Street Fighter if you get good. MK's whatever. So that's my take.
So I mean, at this point, we got Ryu, Scorpion, uh,
You said
What
Heihachi.
Heihachi.
about Raiden? What about Raiden?
I think Sub Zero is
Hey,
more popular than Raiden.
yeah,
Raiden was awesome.
Scorpion is the most popular. He's.
Love
I
him.
mean,
Yeah, to be
even when he's
fair, we wanted to include one character from each franchise, so you can't have like two Street Fighter characters, two MK
I
characters.
know. It's definitely Scorpion. Definitely Scorpion.
then I would go with for the number 4 spot. I guess we go with Terry. from Fatal Fury. And then for the number 5 spot, I guess Jago from Killer Instinct.
Spinal.
Nah, I don't think
But
Spinal's
see, like
popular.
the other 3D fighters like Soul Calibur and Virtua Fighter, you think they're less known
I mean,
worldwide between KI?
you know,
It gets tricky.
you know, for Virtual Fighter, I mean,
A lot of people
I don't
were
know who
playing
the,
Soul Calibur on consoles too. I remember that being pretty big.
yeah.
That was.
I'm
I
trying to
remember
think.
I had the first Soul Edge game, which was hype.
Soul Edge, yeah. Oh, fuck.
Remember that before it turned into Soul Calibur? But that was
Yep.
big
Yeah,
on
fun.
consoles. Like
So
everyone
fun.
on console had a Soul Calibur, or a lot of them had a Virtua Fighter. Definitely Tekken, definitely MK, definitely Street Fighter.
Oh, the good old days.
So the
Who would
3D,
you
I feel
put?
like the 3D fighters were more popular back then during the console era, but now they're kind of making a comeback. But it's really only Tekken.
Yeah, well, Tekken's
But in the
always.
console era, 3D fighters were popular.
Yeah, that's true.
But now when you look at games like VF, who the fuck would you make their staple? Akira? Which is
Guy.
basically the wannabe Ryu, but it's like he wasn't that popular. Like I don't know, like there was no standout VF character. Maybe Shun,
Or
but
Ga,
that
whatever
didn't
his
come
name
out
is.
until VF3.
Uh,
What?
Drunky guy, he was the best.
Yeah, Shun.
Yeah, he was great.
what was
But
that guy
like
that looked like he was undead, almost like Ga? I'm probably saying his name wrong. Go something.
Gao Gu or some shit like that. But he came out later. He came out later. He came out after 3.
Okay.
But now, trying to look at staple characters, I guess Jackie was the wannabe Ken. Akira was the wannabe Ryu. Sarah was the wannabe Chun Li. Wolf was the wannabe King or Zangief. Um, the fucking black dude. What was his name? Jeffrey. Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Then you had Pi and Lao. And
To be honest, I would say the face would have to be like you said. It would be probably Akira, the Ryu, because
yeah,
he's like
Akira.
usually
Yeah.
on the box art and stuff.
Yeah.
So he
So I
kind of
would
is
go
like,
with-
yeah, he's like the face of the game in that way.
But the fact that they were trying to portray this image of like the younger new upcomers, I could actually still say Jackie because he was that little arrogant, yeah, when he won and shit. But yeah, I'd go with Akira. So that's the number 5 spot, or 6.
This is very tough.
Yeah, you know what's weird? I see. Growing up, I was more of like a Tekken Soul Calibur person. So to me, I feel like Soul Calibur would have the edge of popularity. But I know Soul Calibur tried doing a new game recently, like 5 or so years ago, and wasn't very well received. Like it didn't last long enough to see. But I feel
No,
like Soul Calibur may be more popular than at least to me, than Virtua Fighter. I feel like more people had that or know about it. Plus, you had
probably, yeah, I
crossover
could go with.
characters like Yoshimitsu, and then you had Link from Nintendo who was in it, which got a lot of attention to those games.
And then Darth Vader.
Yeah, exactly, and Yoda. So, I mean, Soul Calibur had some iconic guest characters. At one point, Soul
Definitely.
Calibur was the shit. Like it was popular.
I'm trying to think.
I've always loved that game.
Yeah, but who would be the face of Soul Calibur? I personally liked Nightmare.
Gotta be Yoshimitsu.
Yeah, but Yoshimitsu's
No.
Tekken to me. He's Tekken to me.
No. Okay.
Yeah, I consider Yoshimitsu Tekken.
What the fuck would I make? Because I would go. I mean, Siegfried was before Nightmare.
Yeah, I thought Nightmare looked cool. I thought Valdo was funny.
Oh, Voldo, yeah.
Cervantes, the pirate guy with the swords.
Yeah, he was good.
which people used to spam. I'm talking about like friends.
Cervantes, whatever his name is. Oh, he was great. I love that game. That game was fun.
Yeah, who would you say the face? You know, it's weird. Now that you're mentioning it, the face of not Virtual Soul Calibur. I think of characters like Yoshimitsu, Darth Vader, Link, but those aren't actually Soul Calibur characters.
Probably Nightmare.
Mitsurugi.
Mitsurugi, yes. That's the character. That's the one. Yep.
It was the samurai that fought against bullets.
Yep, that's the one. It's
But
Mitsurugi for sure.
But Siegfried actually won it.
Wasn't he in Soul Edge 2, the first one?
Who?
Mitsuru. He was in Soul Edge, right?
He's in all of them.
Yeah, but I'm saying before it became like Soul Calibur, he was one of the original characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I guess maybe he would be the face.
But
do you guys agree? Do you think Soul Calibur should be number 4, or do you think Virtua Fighter should be over it, or KI? I was just mentioning Soul Calibur to me because I remember in the console area, like everyone had it.
Well, it depends if it's arcade or not. I mean, there was in the arcade too, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. These are really tough. This is really tough questions. It's all region based and what we.
Wait, now I wonder. Wait, was Yoshimitsu in Tekken first or Soul Calibur? Because he was there in the very first games too, wasn't he? Yoshimitsu.
He was first in Tekken, right?
No, I think he was first in. What the fuck was he the first in now? That's a good question.
Yeah, this is killing me now because I'm trying to look back and I swear I'm thinking maybe Yoshimitsu.
Tekken, dude. He was first in Tekken. Has to be. Gotta be.
Yeah, I don't remember. Someone will have to Google it and tell us.
I think he was in both at the same time.
It's gotta be Tekken. It's it's the same years pretty much. So
yeah, because I remember him being in the old Soul Calibur games on console, but now I'm like, wait a minute, was he in Soul Calibur first or Tekken? Because I like playing him in Soul Calibur.
Soul Calibur did interesting stuff. They had different characters released for different systems and stuff too, which was kind of cool.
I like playing Yoshimitsu and Nightmare, but obviously I love playing Darth Vader.
That game was fun. Now think about that game was fun.
Yeah,
does anybody still play that?
I don't. Soul Calibur's kind of like disappeared from the PC. It used to be, like I said, he used to be big there in the consoles.
He was first in Tekken.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So he was a guest character, I guess, over Tekken that they wanted to include. Then they kept as like a staple because he has a weapon. He's one of the few Tekken characters. I know now it's not like that anymore. In Tekken 6, you have people fighting with bazookas and guns and stuff, but he was one of the original characters that would use weapons, whereas most of the cast would use their hands.
Yes.
So that's why he was. They were like, we'd probably be a good fit for Soul Calibur.
Suicide move. That was awesome.
Yeah, when you do the what is it called? The Harakiri into them.
Yeah, it's so awesome. Oh, that game was fun.
So would you guys? So if you had to finalize the Mount Rushmore in your opinion, would you say it would be 1 Ryu, 2 Scorpion, 3 Hayachi or Kazuya? I think Kazuya has a slight edge, and 4, I guess, would be
Terry.
Yeah, Akira. I mean, not I'm thinking of Virtua Fighter.
Terry Bogart.
Oh, Terry. Okay, yeah, King of Fighters.
Yeah, definitely Terry. Got to be there. KOF is definitely up there.
And then after that, it would be Akira. Actually,
it's so kind of a little more popular than
Virtua Fighter. Go with Akira. I'd have to go with Akira over Soul Calibur, I think, because VF was one of the starting fighting games. It was always the number 4. The pecking order's always been Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, and then KOF games, and then it would be. See, but it's weird though, because it's like Killer Instinct was more popular in the arcade era.
Oh yeah, it was huge.
So it's like
But it was
it's
huge
hard.
here. We have no idea if it was big anywhere else. It was huge in the US. It was every
Yeah, it
arcade.
might
We
be
know
like a
that.
Mortal Kombat thing, when Mortal Kombat was big in USA, but not that crazy
Yeah.
outside it.
And more of a reason I would go with VF then, because
Hmm.
VF was popular worldwide.
Wasn't Soul Calibur also played worldwide, or it released everywhere? Right? It wasn't just USA.
It released everywhere. I mean, again, it's a Japanese company, so it was popular in Japan. But they made the mistake of doing Tekken and that at the same time, which basically pulled one from the other.
I feel like Tekken stole the spotlight.
Yeah. So we got Street Fighter, MK, Tekken, KOF, and then the number 5 spot. I guess I could go with. Yeah, I gotta go with VF. Number 6 spot, I would go with, I think, Soul Calibur series. And then the number 7, I would go with Killer Instinct.
But see, now
Yeah,
I think before KI was more popular, but now Guilty Gear has gotten really big. It's got its own big community now in a lot of
yeah, but
areas.
Guilty Gear's been around for 100 years, and
Yeah, I know.
it never
The
caught on.
Guilty Gear was always very niche because the game's very hard to play. But with Guilty Gear Strive is when it started becoming more mainstream. And a lot of people started playing it. A lot of people stuck to it.
I wouldn't even put it on the map yet. I don't even know what their overall sales look like. I never really checked. But I mean, I know they're not in comparison to the top 5. They're not in that league yet. They might, eventually start taking some of them down. But for now, I don't see any anime games competing with the top 5 fucking kings of the block.
Yeah, that's excluding DBZ.
Yeah. I would give Guilty Gear like the number 8 spot, maybe.
You know what's crazy? It sounds like there's not that many fighting games, but there's actually a ton of fighting games. Like a lot of
Yeah.
fighting games have been out. They come and go. Like over the past few decades,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
been so many fighting games that pop up, disappear. A bunch of different ones get made. They never become popular. They just fade into obscurity. You never hear from them again. But usually people think like, oh, there's barely any fighting games. Like they make it seem like there's only like one fighting game that was there for years. Dude, it's a lot. If you look at like the fighting games that come out, there's a lot of them. They just never gain traction.
Yeah, they never pan
they
out.
never go anywhere. I guess people just are less likely to want to try new fighting games and give them a shot. Like, do you see the whole thing that happened with 2XKO? They thought it was going to be huge.
Oh,
the people behind it, they made League of Legends, which is one of the most popular video games ever, has billions of players. They thought 2XKO would come out, a bunch of people would play it and would take over, but sadly, it ended up going the opposite of what they thought would happen. The FTC just does not really care for that game.
And again, this is what happens when gamers think they could make games. Be a gamer, play a game, enjoy it. If you're not a game designer, don't try to make games. Because the thing with 2XKO is they tried to take what they felt was the best of all fighting games and smash it into one and make it easier to play, and it turned people off. And the free-to-play engine, while it sounds nice, is now you're basing your profit off of skins. And remember, you're talking FGC universe. The motherfuckers are broke already. So once they got the game for free, they're like, I don't need no skins. I got the game.
Yeah, plus people don't want to grind to unlock characters. They also don't like how the game released. It took years of development time, almost a decade, to come out with like 12 characters. And people are like, what is this? And then on top of that, the balance isn't that great. I heard people complain about Echo. Like, apparently he's very broken, not fun to play against. He has like safe things he can do, not much risk. And it's just, so the game has a lot of its own issues going on, but not to get too off topic, because I don't want to turn this into another 2XKO episode. I want to ask you guys, going on to the next topic, which has been kind of taking over the FGC as of yesterday when it was announced. I'm sure you guys have seen it. EVO came out with this announcement the other day where now they're doing this new massive EVO league where now instead of EVO only being primarily in the USA with the championships series in Vegas and having EVO Japan, and I believe there's an EVO in France. Aside from those three now, they're opening a big league and they're showing EVO in a lot of different areas now. So now you have EVO Vegas, EVO Japan, EVO Europe, EVO local support, EVO Singapore, EVO Morocco, Brazil, China, Middle East, and Mexico. So now, in a way, this is opening a huge amount of opportunity for a lot of players out there that love fighting games, but they either don't have the resource to travel, or they can't, or they don't want to go to USA to compete in a tournament. Now they have a chance to compete in an EVO that's in their area to have a shot at, getting some of the prestige of winning an EVO, getting some of the prize pot, getting their name out there, whereas otherwise they would never have this kind of opportunity. Do you guys think this is good that EVO is doing this for the fighting game community, or is it actually bad?
I think it's bad in one aspect, but in another aspect, it's good. The aspect that I think it's bad in is what people don't seem to realize when they're reading that announcement. You're not going to go to EVO to play Mortal Kombat. You are going to go to EVO and you have to play multiple fighting games. It's not one game. So you go to EVO, you're expected to be able to play Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken. You're supposed to be able to play all of them. That's what the competition.
So
yeah,
I did hear about that. I forgot to mention this, but it's great you bring that up. So now apparently they're reworking EVO in a way where now when you enter, is this true that you're going to have to compete and sign up in the games that are there? You can't just go there and specialize
correct.
and only play one game.
You can't just play one game, correct. So that's going to knock a lot of the low-hanging fruit out of the tree for people like MK players who don't play Street Fighter. You're kind of fucked. But now on the other side, on the flip side of this, the mistake that they're doing is when EVO was consolidated to Vegas, 20,000 people came to Vegas. You're not getting 20,000 people to go to each of these events. You're going to lose a lot of people because people are going to say, why go to EVO Morocco when I live in China?
Right.
You're going to have one in China. So I'll do the one in China. Now, some people will, if people are smart and want to see the world, you'll travel. But now on the flip side, the fact that you have multiple games is also going to hesitate your judgment to making these trips. Like if you say, oh my God, I'm a god in Mortal Kombat, I got this. Yeah, but Mortal Kombat's only 1 out of 5 games. And one game is not enough to carry you, quote unquote, to the top 8. You're going to need multiple games under your belt. So you're going to start to weed out a lot of people that would normally travel just to say, hey, I want to travel to EVO, and that's going to hurt the numbers. The Saudi Arabian drama that's involved with it's going to hurt the numbers. So it's going to be, I hate to say it, they're going to lose a lot of money unless they scale these events back and make them like locals, which they won't do. But now, given Saudi Arabia's past history, they could play long game in hopes of it catching on. But it's a gamble, So one of two things are going to happen. Either it's going to be a blockbuster hit, which, to be honest, I don't think it's gonna, or inevitably the days of EVO are numbered for good.
Well, Evo used to be the like you were the best if you won it. Now are you the best if you win all of them?
Hey, you gotta get to the top 8.
That was a big tweet controversy today. I was reading some of the quote unquote top players, and they're like, "Well, Evo's a joke now because now you got to win all of them." It used to be like the only just you know Vegas, you win it, you're the best. That's it. Now they branched out to what 12 a year or whatever it is. So as a casual player, I'm happy I can go to the one in France if I ever go. I don't go to events anymore, but that'd be fun to just go hang out. But you know, I don't care anymore. But what about
Yeah,
the top Street Fighter guys? They're traveling all around the world to each Evo. Expensive.
And that's the other thing. It's this ain't like traveling from fucking New York to California. This is traveling America to fucking Morocco or fucking Saudi Arabia or China, that for the matter. $600 tickets is a lot, but to go to Japan and China, it's like $1,200.
Yep, visas and all this stuff that you need, and most players aren't sponsored. So I don't know. It seems there's going to be
three hundred
regional
dollar
champions.
$300 price tag to get in.
Yeah, dude, fuck that. I ain't paying any of that.
Yeah, I want to touch on what James mentioned earlier regarding the whole you need to play other games now at EVO. What if somebody doesn't want to? They just want to go to EVO and play one. Are they going to get denied entry?
Well, it don't matter. You're not winning nothing. You can go there to play and lose and then DQ yourself for the other games. But then what's the point? You might as well just stay home at that point.
Yeah, but here's the issue. That looks really ugly. So let's say they're like, oh, you cannot play an EVO unless you sign up for all our games. You want to see people play all the games. But what if a lot of players are like, yo, I'm here to play Tekken. I don't want to play Street Fighter or these other games. And the other players are like, I'm here to play Tekken. I don't want to play these other games. What if you look at pool matches or they're doing stream matches on the EVO stream and all you see is these two players are up next. Oh, one of them didn't show up, DQ'd. Next match. Oh, one of them showed up, DQ'd. I mean, surely
No, they probably have
to
show up and lose. They probably have. I'm not sure about any of this stuff, but I'm sure Jimmy's right. I don't know if you got to play them all, but if you get signed up for all of them, you probably have to go through the brackets and just lose right away. You can't just not play.
It just sounds I wonder why they decided to do that. They should have, in my opinion.
I can understand their theory. The theory of who's the best fighting game player can get decided by this route. Because the best fighting game player isn't somebody who specializes in Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. It's somebody who specializes in fighting games. So he should be able to play anime, Smash, Street Fighter, Tekken, and Mortal Kombat. If you can't do that or you don't want to do that, there's no reason for you to go to the event itself because the event is telling you what it is. So even if you say, hey, I just like Mortal Kombat, they're going to go, well, what's the point for coming? Because that's just, if you win it, it's just some points added on to your overall. If you're not going to play the others, you might have been the best at Mortal Kombat, but you only got 20 points. And it's whoever can get to 100.
Yeah, it just seems to me, it seems like a weird way to rebrand and redo the EVO.
Does it say that anywhere though? Where'd you find that out, Jimmy? Is that like a new rule, or has it always been like that?
No, it's never been like that. I think it's a new rule. It's never been like that.
Is it written any?
Yeah, it's written on the website. Wow. It's written on the website where it basically says who's the best multiplayer game player.
I feel like the better way they could approach this is instead of rebranding EVO to be this, what they should have done was make a new tournament that's not associated to EVO. It wouldn't be called EVO 2 or EVO. It would just be called a whole new name, whole new tournament sponsored by the same people that did EVO. And in this new tournament, you can call it who is the all-time best fighting game tournament player, and then you can have all the rules in this. That would be better than because when I look at this as someone who knows what EVO was, it just looks very confusing. It's like they're changing EVO to be something else, and this may turn.
What did that announcement say? Did you guys? I didn't read that announcement. What was there was a big thing about it. What is the announcement now that they have EVOs everywhere?
So
and now you got to play all the games.
So in the main title, it said new EVO series announced. One of the parts was a new tournament format where players will have to display mastery of multiple fighting games.
Oh,
so it mentions, this is about. So if you're someone like a Chris G, a Sonic Fox, this is going to be your time to shine because we all know those two players I just mentioned, they play multiple games, excel at multiple games. So players that are used to playing one game all the time, like if you only play Tekken, if you only play Mortal Kombat, if you only play Street Fighter, this may be a bit of a hurdle to overcome, or maybe even a turnoff for you even wanting to go, because it's like, well, what is this?
Wow, this is actually interesting. Then this is going to weed out lots of stuff.
Yeah, well, the concept is interesting. I just don't like how it's kind of rebranded. I think they should have came up with a whole new tournament and called it a different name rather than EVO, because now it becomes a little confusing. I think EVO already had the prestige and a big name. They could have made a new tournament or a new series and called it something else. That way it doesn't conflate with EVO. Because now I feel like the problem is there's 12 EVOs a year, and now, like James said, EVO diminishes and when you win. Why would I want to go to the one in China when I could play in the one in Brazil? Like what?
Mm-hmm.
It causes a lot of issues like that.
Point. But I think this is quite interesting, actually.
Yeah,
maybe people getting tired. Maybe people getting tired of a championship. That this guy's always going to be in top 8 in Street Fighter. This guy's always going to be top 8 in Tekken. Maybe now you're going to find out who like the best. Yeah, maybe Sonic Fox and Chris G. Like maybe they finally get there, and that's cool. I think it's okay. I think it's mix it up a little.
Funny? What's funny is usually at tournaments, the players that play multiple fighting games are held back because of that. Because think about it, you play multiple fighting games, you go to a fighting game, you enter multiple tournaments. In all the tournaments you enter in, you have to go up against player after player of people that are specializing, grinding, exclusively playing this one fighting game that you just entered all the time. Now, for the first time, the players that are constantly juggling, playing multiple different fighting games, they're going to finally be able to feel like, wow, I'm actually getting rewarded now because now I get to play people that are doing the same thing instead of me having to go up against only Tekken players in Tekken, me having to go up against only Mortal Kombat players in Mortal Kombat, playing against Street Fighter, only play Street Fighter. Now, this could be interesting. The only thing is, I don't like how it ties in with the whole EVO name. I think if they called it something else and had it be a different tournament name, it would have went better with the community. Because right now there's a lot of backlash. People do not like, because they're saying it diminishes EVO. It's also ruining the FGC. There's a lot of talk about this. It's ruining the FGC. It's killing grassroots. It also,
you got to remember they have the Esports World Cup as well.
Yeah, and do you want to share the details on that?
Basically, they had one last year, which it focused on Street Fighter and Tekken, but it still keeps the game separate.
Yeah, so you're saying along with this EVO stuff, we're also going to have things like that from like Capcom or Namco.
Well, no, that's from the Saudis as well.
Oh, okay, so the Saudis are doing that. No, so that huge Capcom thing with all that money was just from the Saudis? I thought it was from Capcom.
No, that's the Saudis. Because they had multiple games, multiple genres of games as well.
Yeah, so I guess when you think of it as like an FGC person, I could see how they could feel like this would, come into conflict with a lot of the events, because there seems to be a lot less grassroots tournaments nowadays than there were back then. I remember back then when I was going to tournaments like 2010s, there were it felt like there was majors every month, grassroots happening. But now it seems like it's 4 to 5 tournaments a year now. You have EVO, you have CEO, you have Combo Breaker, you have, I guess, Frosty Frostings, a couple others. It seems like we lost a lot of tournaments.
We lost over a dozen.
Yeah, we lost so many. So now do you think this now being a series, more people are going to focus and play more for this over going to CEO or Combo Breaker?
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
Nah, I think it's the opposite. I think people are going to just not go.
No, they're going to go.
No, they're not going to go. They got to have the money. They're broke. The motherfuckers in the scene are broke. Again, it's one thing to go to Vegas. It's another thing to go to Morocco or China. And you got to remember, going there isn't like driving to Canada where you just show a passport and you're in. It's a lot more.
You're talking about the local? You're talking about just a normal, casual guy who's decent at the game? Yes, they will
guys that used to go to Big E's events. Now they want to go play where you play.
Well, are you talking about like really like great like Chris G? You think he's going to go to all of them?
No, none of them are gonna.
I think the sponsored players will be, but the players that have to go to pocket, probably too much traveling every month to go to a different country like that. It's kind of crazy.
It's going to be then each. It's going to be a regional champion, a guy who could get to that event the easiest. So there's going to be like 8 or whatever it is, 10 of them. There's going to be 10 different winners of all the different ones, and just because like the New York guys couldn't get to Morocco, he could win that one. I'm just like a spitballing here, but like it's probably going to be it's going to be weird. Yeah, I guess it will be less because it's harder to get to these. Okay, so that's fair.
You basically you took Vegas, treated it as a gallon jug, and said, "Fuck it, let's pour 4 quarts out all over the world instead." So you're only going to get a quarter of the money you were getting at Evo. It ain't like you got 20,000 at Evo. You're going to get 20,000 in Singapore and then 20,000 in Morocco. You're going to get dribs and drabs of the people that are closest that can go, and that's it. And then the 1 or 2 FGC American people who want to see the world, they might take 2 or 3 of the cities in. But again, it's expensive. You've turned something that was like baseball, where all you had to do was buy a bat and a glove and a ball, and you were ready to play, and turned it into a money trap. They're not going to be able to afford to travel all. Even the sponsors aren't going to want to do it. They're going to tell their players, "Okay, there's 6 events. Pick 2 of them that you
Yeah, I
think
can
you
see
got your
that.
best, and not just pick 2 of them. Pick 2 of them you think you got your best chance." It's like it's one thing to just pick 2, but I'm paying for you to go to an event. I got to look at the turnout. If I see Daigo and Justin Wong and Chris G and fucking a bunch of other top players, I might say, yeah, you've never won anything, but you're my player. Man, maybe you want to sit this one out.
That's
Give it a
harsh.
shot. It's harsh, but it's a reality.
Yeah, no, I can
You
see
know,
sponsors being like, "Hey, man, look, we got 12 tournaments to go to this year around the world. I'm gonna send you 1 or 2 of them. We're not going to all of these, unless you plan
yeah.
on winning all of them. Then we'll send you." But
I mean, I would do if you win it, I'll take you to the next one. The minute you lose, travel stops.
yeah, what's crazy is what if this is now opening this new Pandora's box, or what if there's going to be a player? And I know this is very hard. Maybe it will not happen, but who knows? What if there's a player that ends up winning all of these separate evos in every part of the world?
Well,
Nah,
How insane would that
that's
be?
what probably
I don't think
people
I
want to
don't
go
think it,
for.
I don't think it can happen because of the fact that it's multiple games.
Yeah, and distance and distance. They
You
can't
know,
sometimes. They just can't get to it.
I don't think there's anybody, Sonic included, that has mastered all these games. That's what it comes down to. Now,
Yeah, it's
you
just the
might
thought
lose
that's
at
hype.
one game. Yeah, but if you lose at one game and there's 5 games, you're still going to be, the 75 percentile of winners.
Yeah,
So it
that's
really
true.
don't hurt you. It don't hurt you, but it'll be a game. Now it'll become a game of numbers. Of, well, you went to this event, you won, but you went to this one and lost. This one you couldn't go to, so now this guy pulled ahead of you. So it's gonna be interesting to see, but I honestly don't think it's gonna last.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask both of you, how long do you think this is going to last? Let's say for this year. Do you think they're going to do it again next year and the year after? Like how long do you think it will happen for?
Well, I mean, Evo is Evo, so they will. If it doesn't work, they will probably make it less places. But I don't think. I think it'll work. I think it'll work. They'll get enough people from their regions to buy tickets and keep going and keep it going. Yeah, it's gonna work. Why wouldn't it work?
Yeah, I'll say this. I think the main Evo in USA and maybe Evo Japan will suffer the most. But I think all of these other Evos in their own regions will probably have some talented players coming out to play and compete in that you've probably never got to see before because they just didn't have the means to travel or they didn't have the money or they didn't want to go to USA or whatever. So in a weird way, I can see it being good like that, like being a regional thing where you get to see the best players of every region compete in the tournament once a year. Like once a year, you get to see who are the best in China, who are the best players in Brazil, who are the best players in Morocco, and so on. That is kind of cool if you think of it that way.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be cool to see some new faces. Um, but again, just because you make an event in Morocco doesn't mean you're going to get everybody from Morocco to come. Or from outside Morocco that's kind of close, they're not going to automatically come. So there's a lot of variables in it that could go wrong. I think they're going to do okay this year, um, depending on how cutthroat they want to be at the end and look at numbers, crunch the numbers. It could either go stay the same or scale it back. But I don't see them doing it this year and saying, damn, we made bank. Let's expand it. I can't see them doing it.
No, that I don't see doing. But I do think each thing that they do, each country will do well, because it's easier for the like I said, the local crowd to come to those closer events. So they should do okay attendance wise and stuff. As a company, that I don't see any issues with at all. As far as like the FGC is concerned, like who's the guy going to each place to win? I don't know about that. So it's probably going to be 8 different and 12 different regional winners, and it is what it is. But Evo will be successful by its in that way. As far as gaming, as far as one guy, as far as Sonic going to each one, winning most of the games, do you think that's going to happen?
Nah.
Yeah, that's what I think. So
some of these games, I mean, which fighting games are they featuring in Evo? I'm sure, are they going to be having King of Fighters and stuff like? Because I know there's some absurd players in King of Fighters. Oh, they are.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
So games like that are hard to play because there's people that have been playing King of Fighters for decades on Fightcade that are ridiculous at the game. Just even trying to get a game off some of these players is so difficult.
Did you ever try to get one of those? Did you ever try to get one off the subject? Did you ever try to get one of those combos out? The entire string?
I've never touched King of Fighters in my life, but I heard the execution is so strict. There's barely any buffering. You have to do everything. You have to input everything so quickly and fast that if you're just off by a frame on somebody's basic combo and converts,
this is what I mean, dude. You got no game right now, right? You have nothing to play. Pick one of the go to one of the training modes or the tutorials on King of Fighters. It's literally like 30. You have to do like 30 things. I'm not even kidding. I've never done one, but I'm not a good game player. I'm being honest. I would love to see you do one of those. Just one. It's impossible. It's like hold back this that. You got to keep each.
You had to have played. You had to have played that. You had to have played Neo Geo fighting games in order to really get the gist of, back to forward, quarter circle, back to straight to forward again.
3 buttons, hold this button down.
Yeah.
Dude. I mean, but the thing is, Rio, you're such a good game player. You should try these weird games, man.
I would probably love this summoning because I love execution.
That's what I mean. I'm gonna have to try to start sending you. I might even have free. I gotta look through my. Another thing is I have like 10, 12,000 free games because I have Humble Bundle. I'm gonna look for all the fighting game ones, and I'll give you codes to stuff if I have them. I probably have codes to most of these old games. I give you a code so you can just like log into something, so you just see how hard this is, and maybe you'd be amazing at it. Maybe you'd like it. Maybe you'd have something else to do. Then focus on. You got no game right now, dude. I know you don't.
I mean, in a weird way, though, I have MK1. See, a lot of people, I know a lot of people are kind of over MK1. They moved on. But to me, MK1's still new because I got back into it in January.
Okay.
And I've only played
one.
But
it's not a game. It's not like it's dead, though. That's the thing. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm not putting you down or anything. I'm just saying.
Yes and no. I mean, I guess it's dead if you plan to go to EVO or, go to tournaments and that. But to me, it's not really dead because I get to play when I boot it in. I just play Kombat League and I find people in literally 2 seconds. It's
no, I get that, but you're a competitive player. You'd love it to still be on the main circuit. Of course you would. I know you. You want to fucking win. Now you're winning versus dudes online. Whatever, doesn't matter.
I mean, I'm barely beating them. I'm actually getting my ass beat in these Kombat League matches.
But still, it doesn't. The game is no support. It's done. Everyone knows it's done. There's haters all now. It's done. So there's no game for you.
Well, here's the thing. So from Ed Boon's last tweet, when he talked about MK1, the patch that they did last month in January, it was actually, he said, and I know we should all take what Boon says with a grain of salt, because then in MK11 he also said there's more support to come, but then it never happened. So he could be lying again here, but he did say when somebody asked, "Hey, is this the last update for MK1 last month?" on Twitter, he replied and said, "No, there's one more update planned." So with that said, they may do another update maybe next month or soon, but if they don't, then yeah, I think MK1 is going to be the way it is forever. Is EVO going to pick it up again next year or whenever? I don't know.
No.
I guess
nope, not happening.
No
way.
Yeah, I guess it really would depend what they would do. I guess they would have to do a combat pack, something big.
No, even if it's done, they're not. When they said that, what was that tweet? They said that in all so many words that the game's done. We're not supporting it. Whatever. People went fucking nuts. That was it. It's not gonna be picked up by anybody. It's not gonna be at any tournament. It's just gonna be locals, and I'd be surprised if it comes to it like EVO or something. I doubt it. Highly doubt it. It's over.
I mean, you look at EVO. You look at EVO's lineup, and it's and again, no disrespect to fucking anime people, but it's like you got Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, Fatal Fury. After that, you got Under Night, Grand Blue, Rivals of Ether, 2XKO, Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, and then you got VF5, Vampire Savior, and Invincible.
Right, and no MK. So there you go.
You guys know exactly why MK was pulled from EVO? Did it have like a bad issue last year when it was at EVO?
Poor numbers.
Yeah, poor numbers.
Why
Very
support
poor numbers.
something? Why promote a game that's getting poor numbers?
True. I guess if the community isn't supporting it and doesn't want to come out for the game, then why should we feature the game? I get that mindset. But I'm curious, they had what, like 300 people for MK1 EVO last year?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Were they still number 3 most entrances, or was it other games above them? Like I know it was Street Fighter, Tekken, but did other games were above them, or was MK still number 3 with 300 people?
I remember watching it on TV, like, and there was no one in the room. It was like, there's no hype for MK. They dropped it. The numbers, definitely numbers. It was.
It's kind of sad because this reminds me of the whole MKX thing. In MKX, they released the final patch for the game, but that final patch was never at a big tournament or like another EVO. It was just NRS released a patch for it, but then EVO and stuff dropped it, so we never got to see what would the final version of MKX look like at EVO again and this and that. It seems like the same thing is happening with MK1 now, where we got this update last month, but is EVO ever going to pick up the game again to show us what this patch looks like with the game? Like it's just.
I think if I remember correctly, EVO, I think they got like 600-700 people to show up, and then if I remember correctly, Street Fighter 6 had 6,000, and Tekken had like 5,000.
Damn, 6,000 to 300 is a huge difference.
Man,
Gear had like 2,000.
Why do you guys feel like these other games, these other fighting games in that GC are so much more popular than Mortal Kombat?
Because the MK community is self-deluded scumbags, and they're not a welcoming community. They're dickheads to each other. They treat each other like shit. That's been going on forever.
Oh, since the beginning.
And why do I want to go? I go to work fucking Monday to Friday, 8 hours a day to get told I'm a piece of shit by my boss. And then when I go home to try and get online and play some game, I got people calling me a scumbag piece of shit. I don't have to fucking deal with it. I just won't play. I won't support.
I'm not going to speak for the other games because I don't know the communities. I know the MK community. I've been a part of it forever. It's pretty bad. I don't know if it's like that with the other. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure there's a lot more respect. Yeah, there's shit talkers everywhere, but MK, everybody hates you. They're
Yeah.
just hated. So it's really like this niche circle of.
Okay, so do you feel like it's more the community holding the game back, or you think it's the game, the gameplay, causing people to be?
Combination of
It's a
both.
combination of everything. Yeah, definitely.
The game has its issues, but the community amplifies it to make it worse.
Do you think people kind of lash out on other people because of their issues and things that they don't enjoy in the game? They kind of take it out on people that they're playing against.
Yeah, you get the typical line, you're only mad at the game because you're not good. No, I'm mad at the game because it sucks. It's not fun. And that's the truth. Even if you're playing it and half-assed enjoying it, really take yourself back to the Mortal Kombat that you truly loved since the beginning and compare it to the feelings you get now playing and tell me what the difference is.
Yeah, no, you bring
What
up a
was your
good point.
what was your favorite MK out of all of them?
See, this is the bad example because my favorite MK out of all of them was Deception, but that game used to make me rage so bad that I used to break controllers.
But did you have fun when it was going your way? Was it enjoyable?
When I was beating people, it was the best feeling in the world because then I got to. This sounds so spiteful, but I got to have people feel the way I felt when I was losing and getting
Exactly.
fatality and feeling like now they got the other side, and that felt so good. But I feel like that's
See
such a
now,
toxic state to play a game
no, it's
where
not.
it's like someone has to suffer and someone has to have a good time.
Yeah,
Because
well,
that Deception was literally that. Deception was you played something in the game, somebody was suffering, somebody was having fun. The other person was not going to be able to play. Whoever got their infinite first, and it was just is what it is.
it's the same attitude that the community does overall with people in general, not even game related. There's winners and there's losers, and in their mind, they're the winners, you're the loser, no matter whether you're good at the game or not. They like to push this narrative that it's a welcoming community. That's such a crock of shit.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Community's never been welcoming.
Nope.
They
Someone new to hate if someone's good.
yeah.
There's no welcoming anything.
And it's like once you're isolated as one of the bad, they talk to each other like a hive mind, and they fucking basically ostracize you, but then call you a piece of shit for not showing up. You call me a scumbag online all day. Now you want me to show up to an event, or now you want me to help with a crowd fund, or now you want me to help with this. Nah, I'm good. And many people will hear this and they'll say, "Oh, James is just mad." No, I wanted the community to succeed. I gave you the formula. You just didn't want to listen.
I don't know if that's the way, if that's how it is in Street Fighter and Tekken. I don't know. I don't know if it's. I don't know if it's. It's just. I
I
know that
mean,
in MK.
listen, EVO
Yeah.
2024 had
Mm-hmm.
6,000 people. That was last year's EVO for Street Fighter.
Pretty damn good.
How much people do you think they're going to get this year for Street Fighter? Think it'll be similar, or will it be a big drop off?
I think it's going to be a big drop off because a lot of people are going to say, "Well, it's coming closer to me here."
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It could.
Especially the people that have already attended Evo Vegas, they're going to go, "Well, I've been there already. Why
But
go there
maybe
now?"
they're also doing that casual gamer approach thing that Legacy did. Like, we're just doing this for the casual game, so they could just sell the whole place out.
No, they're not doing that.
And
No, they're not doing it. No.
Okay.
But like, to a person that's been going to Evo for 15 years, Why the fuck do I want to go 16 if I can go to fucking China instead or
I
fucking
think
another country?
Chris G said that. I was reading his tweets, and he's just like, "Well, there's no longer one king now. Now it's got to be." He doesn't understand why they're doing it. Should be. It used to be like one event. You win that one, you're the best. Now what?
It's all about generating more money. You cut the scale back. Listen, you're going to set up in these other countries a hell of a lot cheaper of a design than you would for fucking Evo Vegas. Evo Vegas has got to cost them a couple of mil. Couple of mil. And 20,000. Here, let's do the math. Let's just say 20,000 for argument's sake. So 20,000 times 300 is $6 million. That's if you got 20,000 people to show up, you get 6 million. Now we know in the real world, you're not getting 20,000. You're getting, let's say 15,000. Not, and I wouldn't even go with that. Let me clear that. Let's go with 12,000 times 300 gives you 3.6 million. That'll allow you. Now you're spending probably 2 million in production and probably another million in payroll and other side shit. And that leaves you 600,000 left profit. And then I'm sure there's some other miscellaneous charges of stuff that you're gonna have to, take hold of. Now that's just if 12,000 people show up. Now I think Evo in Vegas is going to average between 9 and 10,000 total when
Okay,
everything's
total.
said
Okay.
and done. Yeah, when everything's said and done. Do they have? Let me see. Do they have the turnout numbers for Evo 2025 yet? Let's see. 2025. Evo's trial registration. Evo will soon have 9 events. Fucking 9 events.
Yeah. Well, here. Before this is the Chris G tweet. Everyone doing everything other than making a good tournament that's memorable for everyone. First, you price out everyone, then you make 22 more Evos. What the fuck is even happening?
All right, so
I was just reading all these tweets today. Crazy.
Yeah, so when you think about it, the venue fee for Evil last year was pretty expensive. It was like over $100. So now imagine the venue fee for all these together, all the people that are going to each one. It racks up. So instead of them getting 100 venue fee per person at one tournament once a year, now they have the opportunity to get a lot more of that 100 venue fee charge for all these different tournaments in different areas. So imagine you're one person, but imagine you're somebody who wants to go to all these Evos. All of them each is $100 venue fee. So now that's like over 1,000 just to sign up in all of them. Then you got to get the flight for all them. Hotel,
hotels.
Unless you're rich.
Eat.
All right, so I just added up the 2025 numbers.
All right, what do you got?
They got roughly 11,000 people. That's it. So 11,000 times 300 is 3.3 million. That's without them paying anything out for bills or anything. It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. Your numbers are dropping. I mean, even if you look, let me see what 2024 numbers were. Let's see. Evo. $20.24 numbers. All right. By the numbers. So let's see. Here we go. Let's redo this. All right. Clear. 5,000. 5,000 plus 5,000 plus
As I was saying while James is doing this, unless you're like in the 1% of top earners in USA, I don't think you're going to be going to all these tournaments every month in a different country, booking hotels, flights, eating out.
I'm reading all this. I'm reading all this Chris G stuff because I would say he's one of the guys who could actually compete in all of them.
I agree with that. He's always been talented in multiple different games.
Yeah, he was saying only one can be the greatest champion of all 9 realms. So he's more of the EVO used to be the greatest thing. Now it's diluted and stuff. And now what? He's not happy about it. And I think he also brought up stuff about playing all the games too. He's like he's not able to practice one of them because the online is terrible. I'm skimming through, so I could be misquoting, but he's got a lot of good points here.
Yeah, that's also
trying to play Fatal Fury so I can make EWC again this year, but it's really hard. Online is unplayable. I can't get good practice. I'm just going to keep it going. I'm just reading. I'm just seeing if this is all tied to EVO or not. But I guess he's got to play every game.
Does the new Fatal Fury game not have rollback netcode?
I don't know. I'm just looking. I can't get good practice. The game's online is unplayable. The amount of quality of matches both terrible. So he's saying the quality and the matches. I guess why would he learn this if he's trying to play them all for EVO? I'm just like I said, I'm just skimming through, so I have all the facts.
Yeah, well, now that you're forced to play all these different games, your time
this is about.
Yeah, your time is more limited. So now when you wasting your time trying to matchmake and you go up against these frustrating connections, or it's almost like you're wasting your time because now you get to split your time between 10 different games.
So 2024, they had 16,000 people. Now this year they're looking at 11,000. So they lost 5,000 people.
Okay.
So that there tells you
the venue fees went up. They're more than $100.
Oh, really? It's more than 100 now. What is the what was the venue fee actually for EVO? Because I thought it was 100 or something. But if it's more than that,
it's like $300 now.
Yeah, $300. That's what I thought. I was like, where did you get the 100 from? Yeah, it's 300, I think. EVO venue fee 2025. It says, I don't know if this is right, whatever. It says it's generally starting in the $150 to $200 range. So right there, you're $100 off, Rio. So there you go. Let's say it's 200. Okay, it's a lot of loot.
Yeah, damn. And you know what? Like I was saying, these tournaments, if you're not well off and you don't have a lot of money to be thrown away like that, I mean, you probably have to pick maybe 1 or 2 of these.
Yeah,
a year to go to.
Nah, probably 1. US will go to Vegas.
People are not going to travel. People are not going to travel like that, plain and simple.
I've never been to EVO. I've never been. Yep, never.
Well, I guess
never had interest.
Well, I guess in this way it's good because now you can go to one near you.
Although I would go to the France one, definitely. That was fucking awesome. You guys would love that too. It's so nice out here.
The last EVO I went to was 2016. It's been a while.
I've never been to EVO. Never was really interested. I was never part of the crew. You know, like the Long Island Joes and those guys. I mean, I knew them all. Grew up with all those guys. I just was never part of that team in Street Fighter and stuff. If you weren't a Street Fighter nerd, you should go to EVO. I mean, they were getting the spotlight.
EVO's huge for Street Fighter.
It was so
basically like the premier game if you think about it.
You know, all those guys, I was never part of that stuff. We were always the redheaded stepchild, the MK, man.
I wonder if they're going to bring back Melee at EVO. Actually, no, they can't do that because Nintendo.
No, they never will.
Yeah, Nintendo got it removed. Nintendo was tired of seeing their old game being played. Yep. When the customers could buy the new game Nintendo pulled out, they got tired of seeing the old game get played.
They're smart though. They just know how to make the money.
Yeah, Nintendo does not want people to play older games. They want you to play the newest game out, and then when another new game comes out, stop playing the game you bought and have fun with. Play the newest one out.
Yeah,
and they get the people, they get the support, they have the money, they have everything.
That's how business works.
Mm-hmm. I'm very curious to see this EVO stuff, though. I am very curious to see what happens. Maybe it'll force players to play more games. For example, I got no game to play. I wish I did.
Now, when is Evo this year? Like, when's the first Evo?
EVO 2026 first event. Let's see.
I think it's July.
Probably the Las Vegas one, right? And then Japan?
Japan, May 1st to 3rd.
Yeah.
Oh, so Japan is first.
And then July is Evo.
No, it's June.
Now, I wonder how many people are going to go. Yeah, so a few months from now, I wonder how many people are going to go to Japan and EVO. Is it going to have a number drop off because of this announcement?
Oh, I'm sure.
Entries or attendance?
People attending to play.
Attendance is going to be fine. I'm telling you guys, they're going to get enough local people to go to just for attendance. I'm not talking about, people who are playing. Attendance, they're going to be fine.
Yeah, when you think about it, in Japan, Street Fighter is so big, so...
Oh, yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, they have a lot of people that are going to end up wanting to play.
Or go.
Or watch, yeah, to spectate.
Yeah, just to hang out. I would definitely go to EVO France, man. That's fucking awesome. It's so amazing in Nice. So cool. I would love to go. Last year, I had a chance to go, and I was like, I'm old, though. I get lazy, but if I have time to plan this year and nobody's in my way, I'm going. Will I touch a single controller there? No. I'll just go to hang out. I don't even know anybody. It just gives me a chance to go to Nice and see. Who knows?
You probably see some MK players there. You could meet up with, and you guys could play stuff.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I would do that. That's okay. But I mean, I would just go because I love Nice and stuff, and it would be a good reason to go. I'm one of those people.
Whenever you're somewhere, but you have to think whenever you're somewhere and you see an MK player, it's cool that you guys both like Mortal Kombat, but then you have to break the ice by going okay, which Mortal Kombat do you play? Because then within the Mortal Kombat community, everybody has their favorite or different Mortal Kombat game they prefer. So it's are you a 2D MK player? Are you a 3D MK player? Are you a NRS MKX player? NRS MK9 player? NRS MK1, 11? There's all these sub communities within MK. So it's sometimes you'll see an MK player at a tournament, and then they'll be like, "Oh, I play this game. Oh, I play this," and then you guys realize you have nothing in common, and then you go play MK.
A lot of fun. That's the fun. That's the fun aspect. I love that. But EVO used to be a great place. You could just have a side game. You could have guys setting up UMK3 or whatever.
Right. They did that the last EVO. They had a side MKX tournament.
They always. That was kind of like part of EVO. How you could just set up side stuff, and but I don't know if that's if all these new ones are going to have the side gaming stuff. I don't know how it works anymore. That's how it was. I don't know if that's what it is now.
Yeah, I think as long as you have the space to run it, you may have to use your a hotspot or something to run a stream for people to watch. But if you can do that, I'm pretty sure EVO will let you if there's space for it.
Okay, well. This whole concept of whatever gaming stuff was started DreamHack in Sweden. So you would have whatever games you want, and they would be even I don't even know if you know this story. I'm going to give you an old MK story. We were trying to arrange the Russians to play in Sweden because it was easier for them to get here, and we were trying. This was right when I met you. I don't even know if you remember this.
Oh, so this was back in 2011 or 10, way back.
Yeah, we were trying because I don't know if you know the Russian guys. What's his name?
Thank you, James Snowman. Yeah, I know them. I met him in person. I played him.
Right. We were trying to arrange something at DreamHack where we could get the Russian guys there, and the U.S. players they didn't have the money to come, something like that. And it was going to be at least
And you said this was 2011?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Oh, wow.
Because we had these open event huge LAN tournaments out here. DreamHack was fucking epic back in the day. It was just fucking awesome. and it's right here for me. But you could just go set it up and have forums and set up the players and everything, and amazing. Just imagine just an entire venue, the largest LAN or largest like gaming event, like do it yourself in the world was DreamHack. So it started here. Imagine the bandwidth and the freaking power going through that. Everyone bring their rigs, their gaming chairs, their entire. My kids went to that. They spent like the whole weekends there. They would pack their shit up in a car and just bring their chairs and their entire setup. You rent a spot to sit on, and you host your own tournament. Amazing, dude.
Yeah, I
Crazy.
remember DreamHack because I remember watching a few tournament matches for years ago for a Smash.
Yeah, I went to the MK11 one where Foxy was there. I met everybody there with Foxy, Ketchup, Mustard, all those guys. That was like 2 hour drive for me, and it's just fun to see all this. MK was big. MK was big back then. It was really fun. That's when Foxy lost. Foxy was a Molina player, I believe, and no, he won that one. I think he won the one.
Yeah, I think this was for MKX, right?
Yeah,
because in MKX he played Molina.
Yeah, he won that one. But that was really fun where you could do. See, EVO had that concept where you could also have side stuff, and it was like, oh my god, you need to go to EVO because they have all these side games and everybody's there and all this stuff's happening, and you have normal games, you're going to meet everybody. Now there's 12 of them.
So I guess in a way, I feel like this overall is good for all the other areas that are going to have this opportunity to play in. But the only downside is, aside from affecting grassroots and making people not want to go to CO because they want to go to something else, is that there's no longer going to be this one world tournament, this one singular world tournament that will bring everybody together to go to.
That's what Chris G said. That's the thing. Chris G's like, oh, now you're diluting it all. And how's that going to work for the guys who really want to be the champ? Chris G is competitive as hell. He wants to win them all. He wants to win everything. He's not going there to just hang out. Now he's got to go to 9, 12 things to go to. I get it, what he's saying.
It's tough being really good at one fighting game. Now I got to play them all.
Hey guys, I got to dip because it's 3:00. I hate to be the party pooper.
Oh no, dude! I think honestly, this is a good time to wrap it up and finish it because this has been 2 hours and a great discussion. It's good to have you on, James.
Not a problem, guys.
Summoning.
Thank you, you guys. Let's do this more often. This is a good time for me. Everybody have a great evening or night or sleeping. It's 9 o'clock in the morning for me. Time to go to work.
Yeah, it's 3:00 in the morning. Time to go to bed for 1 more hour.
Yeah, that's true. You're in Europe, so you're.
Yeah, I'm already ready to go, man. I'm going to the office. The sun's out a little bit. I'm good.
You're like what, 6 hours ahead?
Yep, 9:08 right now.
Yeah, but no, this is a great episode. I appreciate you guys coming on and talking about this. It's a shame we couldn't have Dave and Tom. It's kind of been hard to get a hold of them. They have different schedules, and some nights that Dave is free, Tom is not, and vice versa. So it's like very difficult to get them both on the same day.
The two old guys for the FGC, we're always available because we all we do is work for a living. So
yeah, but no, honestly, I would enjoy doing this again. Next episode. Yes. There's always, and the cool thing is, there's always stuff to talk about too, because there's a lot of like even this has only been the span of the last few days. These massive topics. There's always something to talk about.
I would actually like to bring up the MK Street Fighter skill thing, because that's been a 25-30 year. I would love to hear. We should do that one live. I would love to hear that, the verses. I think
that'd be an interesting topic. I don't know much about every single Street Fighter game, but I used to watch a lot of Third Strike, so I can tell you the ins and outs on that game regarding the characters, what's hard, what's easier to play, and so on. But in terms of Street Fighter 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, I don't play them, so I don't know much about them. But I can tell you a lot about Mortal Kombat games. Obviously, I can tell you the 3D MKs, most of the NRS games, UMK3, stuff like that, because I've spent years playing them. But I think that could be an interesting topic. If you want to do that next time, we could talk
I
about
would
that.
I would really like you to I'm really, it depends on how much time you got. I would really like you to look into King of Fighters, and I just want to, because okay, I consider you a very high level player because I know you're competitive as hell. I've known you for years. I see the focus in your eyes when you play and stuff. I'm not stupid, but I want to see, I want to give you all the games out of your realm. I just want to see what the feel is for you. Like, that's where you kind of have to understand the MK hate. You don't play the other games to get it. I actually play them all, hung out with all the top players and all the different genres of different games. I see why they shit on MK, and not for nothing, Jimmy hung up, but he does not, he
Yeah,
does
he had to go to
play.
sleep.
Yeah, he does play the other games. I'm never gonna knock him there, but he can't do those, he can't do those combos. And you, until you can play those other games, then you'll understand why MK gets a lot of the, "Well, that's not a real game anyway, whatever, community piece of crap, this and that, is it's no one cares." They only say that because they play the other games, then they've dabbled in MK, but like the other games are really hard. I'll give you KOF. I guarantee you I have one, or you can play it on Fightcade, whatever. Just do some of the combo strings. Just pick a character and
Okay,
try it.
so real quick before I close up the
Yeah.
episode, which is the
Yep.
hardest King of Fighters game to play, like for execution?
I'm not, I don't know much about it. I can't tell you, but they're all freaking hard, dude. All of them.
Okay,
I mean, they're all.
maybe someone in the audience will know because I'm sure we have maybe some people are watching that maybe do play King of Fighters, but maybe they can tell us which one's the hardest to play, which King of Fighters is the hardest to play, and which character is the hardest to play in that. And if I do get some free time, I'll probably, I mean, I'm not going to play the game competitively, but I'll play the game.
For you to do,
yeah, no, just like in the lab, practice the hard B&Bs, like what.
Because they have that. The cool thing is they have the tutorial. I don't remember if it was 8 or 9 or whatever. They have the tutorials where you would do like a 30 string, and they would have the entire box up top would be like what you got to do, the combo series. I can't even. I would love to see you do that, and I would just then equal that into your mind of doing that live to somebody at the situational time, busting that combo out, and comparing that to all the MK B&Bs that you know. It's not the same. It's not the same at all. So I would love to see that.
See, it really depends which MK game you're talking about. I don't think any MK game is hard to play in King of Fighters. I'm not saying that, but there's some MK combos that are hard to do, like very hard. Like no, if you had a player playing King of Fighters and you said, "Okay, player Ermac, let me see you relaunch someone one side of the screen, the other side with high punch, low punch, not on the easy relaunch characters like Nightwolf, Shiva and stuff, but on like the male ninjas, like relaunch Human Smoke or whatever."
It's one button though. It's one button and jump timing. Let's say I'm not like I said. I'm not downplaying anything. I'm just saying.
No, yeah. In theory, it's easy. No, in theory, I get what you're saying. In theory, it's easy to execute. Yeah. You have to hold up and you press high kick to do the relaunch. However, it's the timing that's very hard. You have to hold up at the right time, and then you have to land the frame for it to hit the ground. So to execute that just frame, but see, the thing is, it's very hard to do because even a lot of players that have been playing UBT for decades, they don't even relaunch you from one side to the other side consistently. They usually drop it or they go for one or two. It's just a just frame, basically.
You could get one or two. I'm try getting one of those combos out. You could do it. You're different. The thing is, I can't do it. I can't. I tried for months to do one. Once. I'm a terrible game.
I don't even play or make him song to do that. But I'm
saying no. MK I could do. MK I could do it. I'm talking about King of Fighters. I tried once. I tried once just to do one of the strings, and in practice mode, I couldn't do it. No chance. I'm not terrible game player. I'm not good, but I'm not terrible.
You mean like a target combo that they have?
Yeah, no, they have literal 30 hit combos, 20 hit combos. You could do the whole thing. You could do the entire. You have to see it. I'm like talking blind because you haven't seen it. Boot it up and just go to like a training mode, and you can actually do these combos, these combo strings. I'm not talking about the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits. They have maximum, like what you can do in the game, of like 30 hits.
You're
that
talking
people
about the
bust
optimal
out.
BMBs that you have
Yeah,
to do.
people bust this stuff out in gameplay, man. It's fucking ridiculous.
No,
It
I
is
believe you. I believe
crazy.
you.
Yeah, you got to see it. All right, let's wrap it up. And thank you again for having me. And whenever you want to do stuff, just let me know.
Yeah, I'll hit you up and James, and we can do this possibly again next week.
Okay, sure.
But this was a great episode.
Have a great evening. Yes.
Yeah, you have. I know you have to get to work, so enjoy your day. And I appreciate you coming on, you and James.
Thank you so much.
Yep. This has been episode 63. Appreciate you guys for listening. Let us know what you think. If any of you guys do play King of Fighters, I'd love to hear which is the hardest game to play and which character. Maybe I'll dabble with it and practice the BNB. But yeah, as far as that goes, let me know. Do you guys think EVO's good? How they're not going to have all these different regional EVOs for the FGC? Is it a bad thing? Do you find the opportunity good for some of you that never traveled? And what do you guys think about the Mount Rushmore? Do you guys agree with the Mount Rushmore that we did for the fighting games, or would you guys have it differently? Let us know in the comments. Thank you guys again. We'll see you in the next episode. Peace out, everybody.